What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are having a great day today. Today we're going to go over all the damage and a little recap of the trip and the accident, what exactly got damaged, and some other things that I found that were not from the accident but ended up getting tore up on that trip that we got to get fixed on the truck. So let's dive right into it. So if you guys didn't see that last video, I'll go ahead and put that link down in the description. We went up to Georgia. We did the Georgia Adventure Trail and had a great time until a couple things happened. First, the truck rolled into the bank. I will leave a little clip of that video here so you guys can get caught up on how that happened. Essentially what it was is I got out of the truck in a hurry, put the emergency brake on while on the side of a mountain, and didn't put the truck in park. When my dad went to get out of the passenger seat, he saw it in drive with the emergency brake on, shifted the gear selector to park, and in doing so, it released the emergency brake and it began to roll down the mountain pretty much uncontrollably. So luckily Dad grabbed the wheel, spun it real hard, got it into the bank, which is what caused the damage. But it did stop the vehicle from rolling off the side of the mountain, so that's a plus side. So let's go over real quick everything that's damaged. Let me show you up close. So starting off, we got a nice little dent here in the side, right? Not terrible. You can pop that out. Can the camera? Yeah, you can pick it up a little bit there, but we can pop that out. The tail light down here was cracked. These run about $400 for one of these. And then down here you can see where obviously it hit the bumper, but it rubbed into the body and then pushed this panel into the tailgate. You can see the gap on the tailgate up here, and then there is no gap down there. So yeah, we're gonna try to get that sorted a little bit. Obviously the bumper is trashed. Just another reason to get an off-road bumper, so that might be in the works here soon. But yeah, she took a pretty hard hit. So luckily for me, the tailgate still opens fine, more or less. So that was good. Real quick about the setup here. This whole setup did great. I loved it. It was super easy to use. Everything was accessible. Not a lot of running around and trying to make things fit. Easy to unpack. It was easy to pack up. Everything here worked flawlessly. So that's that. Still latches and all that. Nothing mechanically is wrong with the truck. I was really worried about that when the wreck happened. I was hoping I would get in the truck. I mean, we're like 7 hours from home. I'm getting white hairs in my beard and I keep thinking it's like food. Anyway, we're like 7 hours from home. So I was hoping that when we got in the truck and tried to drive it away, that nothing would be mechanically wrong. And luckily it wasn't. Everything was fine. Now there is one thing that happened that I'm probably more bummed about than the bumper. The bumper itself, I really don't care about. You know, it's whatever. But what happened on the passenger side is kind of sucks because I'm not sure if I know how to fix it. I think I can get it replaced, but definitely something we need to address and find out. Well, I know how it happened, but I need to address how it happened and make sure it doesn't happen again. So let's check that out. And that is this beautiful crack in the windshield that has spidered all the way up to the top. Yeah, you can feel it on the outside. You can't feel it on the inside, but she got hit right there. So we definitely need to get that fixed. I keep forgetting about it, opening and closing the door, and I'm expecting it to just shatter next time I do that. But yeah, we gotta get that fixed. Now, luckily I've seen them online. You can get these for like 220 bucks, the windows. So I might do that. A buddy of mine said that should be covered under any kind of Florida vehicle insurance. So I might just call them up and tell them I need a windshield. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully that's true. And we'll get that fixed pretty easy. Now that all that's out of the way, let's talk about the things that went right on the trip. And let's talk about some things that I added right before I left that ended up being great ideas. So first, we're going to start with the inside. That's going to be these floor mats from Lasfit. They were nice enough to reach out to me and send me out some of these. These are molded to the truck and they fit perfect. They just slide right in. These things, as you can see, saved my truck a lot from the clay and all the mud we were driving through. We got one here, there's one on the other side, and then the back seat also has one all the way through. So this is all one piece back here. Really like it. Everything fits perfect, and they're a nice addition, especially when you're off-road a lot. Don't mind the truck. I have not cleaned it since we got back, so it is still in halfway through road trip condition. So anyway, the mats from Lasfit, big score. If you guys want one and want a set for yours, there should be a link down in the description with a discount code, and you can get some. So let's move on to the next thing. Now, when I left for Georgia, my battery in the truck was pretty much on the way out. It's about 56,000 miles, and every time I went to start it, I had to jump it. Once it was jumped, the battery voltage stayed fine at about 14 volts, but it would not start on its own. It would randomly, but for the most part, every day, every morning, it had to get jumped. So since I was leaving for the trip, and I obviously didn't want to or couldn't stop and get a new battery before I left, I grabbed my jump box. That later in that week, I found out that I didn't remember where I put the charger cable for. And luckily I reached out to Lasfit, who makes the jump box, told them what I needed, and they ended up sending me a whole new one. And this thing was flawless. Here's the old jump box. This thing works great. So when you attach this to your battery, right? Terminals are there. It'll automatically indicate what the voltage needed for it will be. So when you attach it, it'll say the 12 volt or 24 volt. Anyway, this thing worked great. And when I told them I lost the charger, they sent me out a whole new one. You can see how much use the other one got, rolling around the back of the truck and all kind of stuff. So that one's been retired as a spare. This one here is, again, works perfectly. So very happy with that. If you guys want a jump box or need one, which I think everyone should have one, this link to this product will also be in the description with a code. You can get one at a discount. I made a whole video on these before. If you guys, I'll leave that link in the description as well. But basically, this button shows how charged it is. You've got a USB charger if you need to charge your phone. You can plug it in there, or whatever else you want to power with a USB. Again, when you plug it in, it'll either indicate 12 volts or 24 volts. If you want to jumpstart your truck with 24 volts, even when it's indicated 12 volts is what's needed, you can hit the 24 volt button and she'll jump from there. This also has a good light on the front if you need that as well. This thing's been great, worth every penny. I promise you, this is not a Lasfit commercial. They just give me a lot of good stuff, and everything works really well. So just trying to pass the information along to you guys. If you want one, you can pick one up. Last thing we need to talk about that nobody gave me that on the truck that worked out great is the high clearance fender liners. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, you might not know, but I'm in the process of custom making some high clearance fender liners for the 3rd gen Frontier and the 2nd gen. Those are on the way too. But if you trimmed, which I have, so those of you who don't know where your reflector is on your 3rd gen, that reflector down to the edge of the panel is 1 inch. So I trimmed 1 inch all the way around and had to remove the stock liner. Well, they don't make any high clearance liners, so I'm starting to make some myself. Here's the remnants of the first panel. The other panel has been sent off to get a little bit modified, and then it's going back in. I'll throw some pictures up of what it looks like with the other panel in. Let me show you the other side. The other side took some doing, but it looks really good too. Again, the other top panel is getting modified, but these came in really handy. Kept a lot of the mud and the clay out from in the door jamb and the door seal. These things were super solid. We're so close to getting these into production. You guys are gonna love them. Probably another couple weeks, I think. Once the set that's in production now for the last prototype I'm getting made, once those are done, we should be 100% ready to go. So I'm gonna put those on, run them for about a couple weeks, see if there's any issues. But for the most part, they're gonna be set. So if you are in the Ocala, Florida area, or if you want to come down to Ocala and want a set of these liners for free, I'm going to be making an install video for people who buy them. So if you buy one, you'll get a card with a QR code. You scan that code, it'll bring you to a video, and I'll walk you through the whole setup. So if you want a set for free, all you gotta do is let me use your truck to do an install of these liners, and you can keep them. I can't really do it with mine because they're already installed. There's a couple things you kind of need to see from the beginning. So I need a truck that wants a set that doesn't mind having some. If you want more information about that, reach out to me on Instagram. all the info will be there, and we can talk about what to expect and how all that works. One more thing. So when I put the fridge in here, obviously I needed a power supply for it, and I got this Power Queen battery, and this thing has been wonderful. It's been, I think every night we were up there, it was in the low 20s, and the first night we were there, it was like 15 degrees, 14 degrees, so it was super cold. Not only did it power the fridge fine, but it's got Bluetooth on it. So all I had to do to check to see if the battery was even on or working was to pick up my phone and connect the Bluetooth, and I could see the state of charge for the battery. I could see how much output it was putting out, or the temperature of the battery. And even down when it was super cold, like 15 degrees, the battery was working fine. So that was awesome. It didn't use a lot of the battery as far as the trip goes because it was so cold. So the fridge probably only had to run like 3 times. I think it dropped down to 97 or 96%. So it used 4% in 3 days of running the fridge. And also runs the lights in the back of the bed. So the fridge is run off that battery, and then these bed lights I put in are also ran off that battery. So anyway, the Power Queen battery, 100 amp hour, is great. I would definitely get one. There should be a link in the description for that one. There should be a discount code for that. Worth every penny. If you need something about this size, you can get the 100 amp hour. They have a 200 amp hour. You can link these batteries together if you want a couple, but this thing's been great. And if I want to charge it, all I do is take it off, take it out of here, take it into the house, and I can charge it on right through a 220 outlet. So it's wonderful. So what's next for the truck? What's next for the adventure? So I think sometime this year, I'm going to try to get out west. That would be super cool if we can do it. I'm not sure. That's a lot to coordinate with, you know, having your own business and having, you know, kids and a wife and all that. So we'll see how that goes. But I'd like to do another Georgia trip one more time. Maybe go back to Beasley where I broke the CV the first time at the Rome 4 Low ride. Do a little Beasley Knob redemption run. I think would be pretty cool. And then other than that, I'm pretty open. I do want to hit up the Kentucky Adventure Tour. That looks really fun. Hit some of those hard lines. I think that would be a blast with the right group of people that went. So before we do any of that, we got to get some sliders and some skids on the truck because we don't have any. That was, I mean, pretty much everything I just listed, we kind of need those to do any of those. So yeah, I'm all for foolishness, but that would just be straight dumb. So we need to get some protection, and that'll be next on our list after our bumper. It just adds up. It just goes on and on. You probably know. You know how it is. As far as immediately what's next is the Save Expo. The Save Expo is going to be March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, I think. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Actually, this video might even come out after the expo, or so. Oh well, next year, look it up. You can come to the Save Expo down here in Stark, Florida. There's a ton of vendors. I'm gonna do a whole video on that too, so you'll see, if you're unfamiliar with the expo, you'll see what it entails. But I'm heading there, today's Thursday, I'm heading there Saturday. We're gonna do some camping, we're gonna do some riding, hanging out with some friends from out of town. It's gonna be a blast. I think that's gonna be it for this video. In the comments, I want you guys to leave me a comment telling me what you wanna see on the truck, or if you have some good ideas of what you think I need on the truck, or probably most importantly, let me know where you think I should go this year that's within reason, right? I'm not going to, you know, Australia. So if you got any ideas, drop them down in the comments. Real quick, if you guys don't know already, head on over to the Patreon page. The Patreon page I'm using, like, for real, no bullshit, I'm using to help pay for everything, right? So the gas for this truck ain't cheap, going 6 hours one way, the tires, all that stuff. So if you guys want to keep seeing content like this, make sure you head over to the Patreon page. Even like $5 a month makes a huge difference to me when trying to supply everything needed for these trips and all the rides and everything that breaks, all that stuff. There's a bunch of different options on there on Patreon. You can go over and pick which options you want. Just anything, or you can just make a donation if you want. So anything, like I said, as little as $5 is a super helpful donation, and I really appreciate you guys. I'm about to head inside to get some supper. We will see you guys next time.